to measure how many medication errors every single month were they having. And they came up with an average of 14.6 errors per month. When they started to look at that number, they broke that number down a little bit more, and they found out that this was actually missed medications, and the specific time of day was around supper time. So how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So they took the big issue, which is 14.6, and they broke it down into the fact that we're missing medications at supper time. So they did an analysis, root cause analysis, and they started to collect some data, do a fishbone diagram. This is a Pareto chart that shows, again, missed dose as the highest contributor for these missed medications. So what did they end up doing? Well, they started to test out some solutions. They started to think, why is it that we are missing all of these medications at supper time? And they talked to people and they realized supper time is a very busy time of day. So how do we make it easier for staff to do what they need to do? So they came up with a new color-coded medication sheet, which allowed them to more easily see which residents required what. And this, I thought, was a very interesting idea. Medications would come up from pharmacy in a tray with each individual resident having their own bin with medications in it. And so what this team did is they said, okay, anytime we give the medications, when we put back the bin, we're going to put it on an angle. So now, very quickly, we can see which residents actually got their medications and which residents are still lying flat, in which case they haven't received their medications. Very simple solutions, doesn't require an investment of much money, and they were able to come up with this. What does that mean? What did that create? Well, over time, you can see they went from 14.6 errors to 3 errors per month. Are they done? No. They're going to continuously work at that number and maybe rechange their goal when they are ready for it. So that's one example. For the next example, I'm going to hand it back off to Ina.
Thanks, Ali. You know, before we jump into the second case study, I'm always amazed about the lunch delivery, the videos for the lunch deliveries in Mumbai. It continues to amaze me every time. And it continues to keep me hopeful about what is in the art of the doable. So I just want to share that with all the community pharmacists out there today. Why don't we dive into case study number 2? So for this second case study, I want to share this story from my experience as a pharmacy manager where I had just begun a new role in a pharmacy. A young child had been receiving refills of compounded clonidine from the pharmacy for quite some time. After receiving 1 dose of the most recent refill, the child became extremely drowsy and unstable. The child was taken to the hospital where it was determined they were likely presenting with clonidine toxicity. And I can tell you, as a pharmacist and as a parent, the feeling was very overwhelming. I needed to find out exactly what had happened and to ensure it never happened again. So a lot of the questions that I create an environment of continuous quality improvement. So let's talk about some of those questions and work out some answers and what I did. The Canadian Incident and Analysis Framework gave me a place to start. The steps in this framework helped me to formulate a plan moving forward to improve the processes within the pharmacy, to ensure patient safety, and to support the pharmacy team, and to ensure the business remained sustainable and viable. The first step in the process is to provide an immediate response and patient support. I provided all of the information I could to the parents and to the physician to support the patient's recovery. An initial review of documented calculations and weights did not reveal any obvious errors, so we needed to dig deeper really to understand what happened. While we did this, we took a very safe approach. We outsourced all our compounding for children and any compounds with APIs with a narrow therapeutic window. Next.